And let's check the stream. How's everybody doing? Here we go. Oh, it says upcoming. I don't know what that means. There we go. Perfect. Look at my cozy little shop all stacked up, packing materials, everything. How's everybody going? Hey, check this out. Right off the bat, let's just jump right into it. This guy just dropped off a whole mess of knives. Ah! Don't dump them out on the floor. He says he hasn't seen the guy, but he was the upcountry guy. And one of my good friends, the patron saint of knives, Elliot, in Vancouver, Washington, he's always talking about the bolster is the signature of the sharpener. And you can look at a bolster and within a half a second know whether or not it's your work or somebody else's work. And I recognize my own work, which is pretty cool. I do a little rounded off bolster using the angle guide, which we'll do some of that today. So that's my signature move. But the other thing I noticed, I haven't seen these in probably a year or more. Nice clean sweeping bevels, symmetrical bevels. I mean, it's dull, but needlepoint tip, perfect bevels, bolsters reduced. I like this guy's work. But first off the bat, we got some other stuff to do. And I don't want to be sitting here like that. Let's see if we can't get this fixed up. Oh my God, it's all tangled up. Cords and cables, man. Cords and cables. End of the world will be cords and cables. All right, there we go. Let's see how many people we got. Wow, we got 12 guys already. I bet you we hit 40 today. That would be cool. Not a huge number, but you know, get 40 guys in the same room. The other thing that occurred to me is that some of you might have to actually work yourself. So, you know. But I think this is a fun way to do things. The real deal. Trying not swagger around too much. Been seeing some swaggering lately. All right, first one up on the bench. We're just going to get right into it and I'll answer questions and say hi to people as they come in. First one up on the bench today, because we got to rock and roll. This one says urgent. It's a made in China stainless, chips at the tip, kind of rounded over. Some blunting. Maybe the camera will pick up on the blunting. Right when I say blunting, that's where the actual surface is so flat that light reflects back off of it, which is fine. All the apex material is going to be damaged and weakened anyways. So we're going to remove that damaged material and we're just going to do it in a couple swipes. Hey, good morning. Truth and Metal. I'm trying to decipher what you're saying here. You got an elf shoe, but on the heel. So you're talking about the heel is actually dropped down. Well, you can't put metal back. That's the truth. So you might have to, bring down the rest of the material to blend it in. You definitely don't want to grind any more towards the back. So you want to come to the back and then lighten off. I've shown that in a few videos. Let's go ahead and I'll focus you guys in on this. Hopefully you guys can see that a little bit. Let me Maybe I can zoom you in a little bit. There you go. There we go. Sorry guys, I'm trying to chew bubble gum. All right, that's close enough. So it does have a thumb stud. The thumb stud was the original reason why I designed the cutout in the angle guide 8 years ago or more. And now I'm starting to see some Chinese knockoffs actually copying my thing. I'm wondering if I should actually really get this thing patented or not. But the thumb stud was the original reason to have that angle guide cut out. And then as it extended and grew, now it actually allows for bolsters and knives to come in. What you don't want is you don't want a huge amount of a chunky angle guide around your machine that you can't. The idea is to be able to get to the belt, have a sturdy, stable platform just to rest on. If you need more than that, you clearly, you know, need help. Down and back, down and back. And that just cut in a clean bevel. But, I mean, this is just the rough start. I like to go back and forth. And that way you keep your bevel symmetrical. If you grind too far to one side and then grind too far to the other way, you'll actually remove more material than you need to. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And just like that, now I'm going to check and make sure both sides are symmetrical. This side looks a little bigger, so my last few passes, I'm going to really just take a moment. I'm keeping the flat of the knife on the flat of the angle guide. Angle guide is set at about 15 degrees. It's a little bigger here than it is over here. You can just fix that just by making sure that you're on that same angle matching thing. And then just give it a little bit more. See how light that was? Now we have our symmetrical bevels. I'll keep you zoomed in. There you go. So one of my favorite things to sharpen on a 1x30 is the pocket knife. So the adjustability of the angle guide is nice. But the truth is you don't want to be loosening it and tightening it because they're calibrated. These two angle guides are calibrated within a half a degree of each other. The second angle guide is up 1/2 of a degree, give or take. And that ensures that you hit the apex and not the shoulder. You end up having just the right angle to where you're not multifaceting. You don't multifacet, but you start at the apex and you grind it down. So that's the trick there. Let me zoom you guys back out. Ooh, wrong way. There you go. All right, and then I kind of was ahead of time today. Since this was a thing I think we're going to do, so I'll take a worn out 1x30 belt. I'll just use that to scuff up a little bit. And then this is usually my morning prep. I had the question off camera or after the stream last week, do I take my leather belt off the machine? And I don't. And it gets pretty sloppy. So that's smooth and soft now. And I cleaned it. So I scuffed it, cleaned it. And then I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll put my thumb on there until I feel it get real sticky. That's when I know it's ready to go. That's how I do it. Freehand angle match. Check the bite, check the polish. This is, can't really do anything with that. All right, made in China, ready to go. That's razor sharp. Popping hair. Next. And then I'll call all these guys. That one was marked urgent, so 911 urgent. We've got some big orders here, guys. We got quite a few bigger orders. Let's here's a single one. It's a serration right off the top. I'll just set that over here in the pickup pile, and then I'll know to come back to it. So serrations, we've done them several times before. Can I take you guys and put you up there? Does that look right? I can't see, it's too high up. Hold on. We'll figure this out eventually. There you go. It's actually a pretty good angle. Cool. Let me catch a couple questions here. Patriot Paul, aloha brother, how you doing? John Wellen, how do you calibrate your angle guide? Well, I calibrate the angle guide with a digital, like a pocket angle guide. There's a couple different ways you can do it, but if you set the angle guides, this is a little mini digital one. We're gonna have it. I'm just waiting for the shipment of those too. Everything seems to be getting delayed from the post office lately, and I don't know why, but that's going to be coming. So digital angle guide's the best way. Some guys will use these little shims. I'm not a fan of the shim, but they work. The other thing you can use is you put the first one and use a knife with a wide bevel. And then after the wide bevel, you Sharpie marker it and you put it on the second angle guide. And that'll tell you if you need to come up or down on your second angle guide. Ideally, you want the second angle guide to be to where it hits on the sharp. So if this surface is the Sharpie marker and this is the apex, you want it to start removing the Sharpie marker at the top and then complete to the bottom. So you don't have a multifacet, but the main idea is that you're not chewing into the shoulder of the knife, trying to take it all the way to the apex to get it sharp. You want to start by sharpening at the apex and have it come down with the 600 grit. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm completely not in camera, so perfect. All right, wide serrations, 1 inch. They're not in bad shape. Only takes a second. Just letting the burr come up. I think we talked last week, these are pretty well worn out, but the wheels are getting worn out. But we'll have some new ones coming soon. All right. That was not that hard. Give me just a second here, guys. There we go. Ouch. Ouch. The little tripod crank bit me. Honest to God, you know the worst part is I can't listen to music while I'm recording the YouTubes, man. I live with music in my life, and makes the day go by. Yeah, so DR guitar, anything that you drag your knife through that's got a burr on it, that burr, let's say it's just loose material and it's like a foil burr, and you can see it. But when you drag, like even if you're just to pinch and scrape it off, all that loose material is gonna, think like a snowplow going through a snowbank. It just grabs that burr material and starts pushing it along the edge, and it's smashing and crashing into as it goes along. So basically you're dragging metal down the edge that you just sharpened. It's not, people do it because they get frustrated and they can't remove the burr, where a Scotch-Brite wheel can move that burr to the one side. And the thing with the burr is you think people get frustrated, but if you, like I'm pushing harder and I'm going slower, but I didn't change my angle. I still want to respect the geometry of the metal. And then about the second or third time, that material will start flying off. There it goes. Like literally all of it gone. And that's going in and out of each serration. The nice thing about the Scotch-Brite wheel is it does not take the pokey point off. I mean, you could argue it's removing it a little bit, but it certainly isn't rounding it over like a belt strip or something else would. And then I'll just come in once or twice. The compound doesn't leave a lot of residue. Push cut serrations. So I brought up a burr, I removed the burr, I stropped it until it's razor sharp. The right tools or the right method make it easy. And I've used different techniques and I've used different methods. And these aren't the only techniques. You can go back and watch videos where I did essentially the same thing with the Dremel tool, but the Dremel rotates to the side, so it naturally wants to hop out of the serration. And if it hops out of a serration, you're cooked. Cooked as in, yeah, you can't put material back. So if you got all your serrations like a picket fence all in a row, and you make one of the pickets in your fence lower, now you gotta make them all lower. This one says, please add a point to the broken one. Okay, goody. I'll do that. Let me check chat. Watching from Alaska, right on. Maya and John, what's the temp? Where you at? I was raised in Skagway, southeast, where it's wet. My dad is Fairbanks, 40 below, 10 feet of snow, dark all the time. Summers are the most beautiful place on earth, God's country. Winters are hard, though. So, Nicholas from Sweden, thanks for joining us. Yeah, so I'm going to do it right now, and I'll discuss it. What we've got is we got a 3-step process. I go from a P120 to a Trizac A30 to a leather or a felt with diamond emulsion, and there's reasons for every step along the way. And I'll just walk you through them while I'm doing them. Great question, by the way. Oh, this is an interesting one. That's a reverse scallop with the tip broke. All right, fun. We'll save that one for last. These are all kind of nice knives. He's got shuns. Yeah, whatever. Okay, and I can also see that I've done this has got my signature on the bolster. So what I normally do, the bolster's already taken down, so I don't need to drop it down further. The P120 removes damage. Runs about 30% cooler. The light over the head lets me know, light overhead lets me know when I've apexed. Right now I can see the white line going across, which all that white line is the material pushing from the other side. If it's not to the apex, it doesn't push over. So at that point right there, I'm just reshaping this little bit of it's got a little bit of a heavy drop, so I'll just grind a little bit off. We're taking off tenths of a millimeter at a time. And another thing for people to realize is just because you hear it going back and forth doesn't mean I'm actually pushing into the belt. You can hear my finger on it right there. Nope, my finger's still there. So then the last thing I'll do is I'll come and I'll round that little bolster back. And I use the angle guide as a rest when I do it. Let me just get these others done. So the P120 resets the angle, removes the damage. If you were to go with a Trizac or anything lower grit, how many swipes and how long would you be there, and how much heat buildup would you do? Cubitrons are amazing at material removal and remaining cool and lasting longest. They cost a little bit more, but when you break it down to the value you get, if a belt costs $6, which is I think what we're running them at, somewhere close to there, and you get over 60 knives, which is easy to do, you're paying 10 cents a knife for that abrasive. And it also allows you to sharpen 3 times faster. So if I use just a Trizac belt, but it takes me 4 minutes to do a knife, I can do in 30 seconds with the Cubitron and a Trizac and that, 1, 2, 3. 30 seconds is pretty common for me here. I'm 8 times faster. That's 8 times more profitability. Is it worth an extra $2 or an extra 2 cents for the belt per knife? I would say probably it is. This one's got Scotch tape on it. I don't know. So the back here, this little recurve is one of the areas you really got to watch when going edge leading into a knife or into the belt. You don't do that. So you'll see I come up and I feather that back in, and then I make sure I got a burr, and then I'll come down. This also causes people a lot of trouble because they're not completely stationary on the full angle guide. You have to come up, you have to hold it, lock your wrist, and sometimes I just use the corners of the angle guide. It's pretty though, if you can see it. Hopefully that shows up. All right, that's that. What are we going to do with this little reverse serration thing? I've got multiple different ways to do tiny serrations, but this is a reverse scallop. So I'm going to gently take it on the corner of the belt. I'm letting the knife flutter and I'm feeling for a burr on the back. I don't have a burr. I'm gonna try to give it just a light little, there we go. I can actually see the burr coming up on the bottom. Technically that will put a little bit of a curve in the back. And then I'll do it one more time just to make sure. Let's address the you know what. So what do I got on here? I got an 80 grit. Probably could do it with an 80, but here's where the experience can help you out. 80 grit is going to take you 3 times as long. It's also going to generate more heat. I'm going to go to a 50 grit. Gonna get it wet. I'm gonna keep it wet. You gotta decide what shape is gonna look good on that. I'm gonna go with about a 45 degrees. And I'm gonna round the back end of it. Break that little bit off. I like it. I like it. Oop. Keep moving this around a lot. Yeah, the good old basic buck tool, 2x42, no variable speed, no gimmicks. Bunch of gimmick guys out there now, man. Watch yourself, guys. Trust your instincts. There's your serrated, mini serrated knife with the tip, push cutting paper, phone book. Not too worried about it. I'll put it here in the completed pile. And then we'll kick over here to step 2. We hit 40 people, we got 43. Thanks everybody for joining. Hello from Placerville, another guy from Norway. We got Norway, Sweden, Netherlands. Love it. You know, there's a lot of guys, sharpener guys from over there, which is so cool. You guys know the deal, right? I mean, I've been making these videos for over 10 years now, and it started out just to share. Once I had achieved a level of what I consider proficiency, I won't even say mastery, but proficiency, and there was nobody else sharing this information, that's why I started making YouTube videos. I didn't make them for clicks and likes and views. I did it because I wanted to share with other sharpeners the stuff that I had learned. Like, you can go back to these old videos. My very first video, I said and like 100 times, and I had to edit every one of them out. I couldn't look up at the camera. It's a matter of getting familiar and comfortable, but it's the sincere desire to want to help people that is where it came from. And now it's gotten into a weird spot because I did a belt review video 7 years ago, talking about the Norton Blaze, Trizax, or Norax. I was saying aluminum oxide are for woodworking, silicon carbide don't last at all. Some of that hasn't changed, but I was trying to give the best information I could. And now, sometimes I feel like when I try to give the best information about what I honestly believe is out there, it just happens to be the products that I've found and that we sell. And then I feel kind of all self-conscious about it, which is probably a good thing. It means I'm not doing it for the wrong reasons. Having said that, I still believe we got the best stuff. And I share these videos now to help teach people what I think is some of the most efficient, effective ways to do sharpening, and that includes the tools and the techniques. There, how's that for getting deep? That got serious all of a sudden. No, we're doing really good. We appreciate everybody. You know, it's the messages, emails from everybody that's allowed me to want to keep going. So I'm doing this for you, you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't even know some of this latest stuff. It's been kind of weird, so I just got to focus on, you know, focus on my core intentions. A lot of people out there doing stuff these days. Farmers Market said it was amazing. Very welcome, you guys. SoCal Canyon Racer. Sounds like fun. Yeah, that was. I mean, you can see it, man. I mean, I see it. I go back and watch my own damn videos just because I miss being there at that farmer's market, like just wheeling and dealing. I had a job when I was a kid. I worked at a state fair carnival. It was the Washington State Fair in Monroe, Washington. Early mid '80s. Def Leppard. I mean, all the bands. Me and a buddy, and it was the most fun, and it was the fastest. I worked in a vending booth with a couple carnies, and they would be making cotton candy, and I'd be selling to the customers and talking to the people, and boom, 5 hours is gone. Just like that. Oh my. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. When you can see it from 3 feet away. Okay, cleaver. Not bad. Let me zoom you out. See a lot of these. Can't even say it. Kangshan. 50C MOV 15 German steel. Okay, well that's chunked up. So we probably talked about it before, but part of what I'm doing, I usually do it at pretty light speed, but we're hanging out together. So what we do is we go. Dang it. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. So, needs 2-inch repair. Could be sharpened on a 2-inch because it's a thick cleaver. Delicate Japanese knife, no tip. Damascus looking want to be easy. If it's just an apex bevel, this one needs its tip as well. Okay, so you divide and conquer, split it up into the different areas. What needs what, and then you fire it up. Let me kick on my dust extraction today, you guys. I'm having a power issue. I don't have quite enough power cords over to the closet where the thing's at. Hey, not cool, dude. Not cool at all. Tell him, Ellie. Ellie's letting them know. Hey, baby, what you doing? What you doing? Yeah, I know. Good girl. She's making sure she keeps me safe. All right, here we go. So I'm just gonna take this tip off on that one. Dunk it if you want. I like to just give it a mist as I go. I mean, for sure, a dunking can pull a little more heat out. I just don't want to get the whole thing sopping wet. It's actually pretty bad. So I go from the tip back, tip back. That way you're not pushing all that heat up into the tip. Perfect. And I call it breaking it, but I just soften the edge. Now it's ready for a regular sharpening. Not quite what I'm looking for the regular sharpening. I go with a 50 or an 80. A good Cubitron 80, if it's still got some life on it, can do the work and it'll leave a better, well, it's so rough. Cool. Down and back. I've actually got the burr already. Essentially the sharpening's done. I'm just going to feather it in a little bit by dropping the angle just a little bit. There you go. Now it's convex, feathered, and then we'll use this for the satin polishing. So that 240 grit wheel can take out 80 grit scratches. Oh yeah, I got one more to do. You guys got me all distracted here. Oh, this is the one with the damage. Now some guys would go flat on the belt and grind that out. I just think it always takes off more material than I need it to. Thickness is this weird just a little bit more of a crinkle right there. The 2-inch belt is nice because it's wide and it won't make little divots. It won't make little divots in the thing. It evens it out across. All right. Just doing a little blending, but This one chipped and dinged, so I'm actually going to increase its angle a little bit. We've seen that it fails. So I'm going to cut a 20-degree angle in on it instead of going lower. There we go. And then we'll circle back to those two down here at the buffer wheel when we get down to that point. Is this working for everybody? It's actually, SoCal, it's not actually a Chinese vegetable cleaver. Kinda, but no, maybe. When you look at how thick it is, it does have a delicate edge. It's somewhere in between. Some of the veggie cleavers I see are paper thin all the way up. This actually has, I'm sorry, I'm not showing it very well. This actually has meat, but then it does have it, so it has meat to make you think you can cleave with it, and then it has a delicate edge. What we've done is just by increasing that angle just a little bit more, you're gonna have that same slicing cutting ability, but that extra little should stop it from crumpling. Some of that's up to them too, depending. Chris Wright, you're asking about a, sorry about this, guys. Let me get rid of that phone call. So I have tried Cubitron and Trizac in flat home form, and the crazy thing is Trizacs seem to develop an incredible amount of heat in the flat home form. Think about how fast they're spinning. We're working on some new products. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Up to this point, we've pretty much focused on belts and knife sharpening. In the next 4 to 6 weeks, which is coming up really soon, we should have a product line open for the twice as sharps to make them very functional. Even though they're a massively fast spinning little machine, we have some of our proprietary custom nylon Scotch-Brite wheels getting manufactured to fit that machine. CBN wheels, leather wheels. So I just fixed a broken, not a broken tip, but a weird crumpled tip. Main thing is when you look at it, it goes straight down, not straight, but curved down, and then it does there's a natural progression. You look at any knife that comes from Japan, from the factory, and just study it. They drop off like this at about 30 to 40 degrees. They never elf shoe. They never come up like the edge, the front tip is rolled off. Broken tip. It's minor though. So I just go down and back, and then go down and back on the other side. And the minute those two surfaces are apexed at 15 degrees, then I stop. And I'll roll that over. Now you got your perfect looking Santoku. I can address some people's concerns about different angles for different knives as well. So I just forgot what I was going to say. I said I was going to talk about it, and I completely forgot about it. I started reading the chat. Anybody that was actually listening to me, tell me what I just said. Hey. I go very fast, and one of the things you got to watch out for when you're going very fast is mistakes. So I just came over and I went that extra 1/4 inch past, and it pulled it down off the belt a little bit. Don't do that. Oh yeah, the angles. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I'm doing a. I'm going to call it what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a compromised angle system. First thing you do is you take all the established reference guides for angles and you throw them away. There's new material that's come out. Some people are hip and up to date, but then you still have people. You still got people that are just kind of, I don't want to say parroting because that sounds rude, but we're all basically just repeating knowledge that we've heard or hopefully we've experienced firsthand, and that's how you really get good knowledge. And so what do you sharpen kitchen knives at? 18 to 20. What do you sharpen Japanese knives at? 12 to 15. But the truth is, what do you sharpen a pocket knife at? 25, which is ridiculous. If it's a fixed blade and you're batoning firewood, you could go 20, 22. But here's the deal. If you decrease the angle, you'll get improved cutting performance. If it doesn't chip or roll and you decrease the angle, you've improved the cutting performance. Oh yeah, we're going to do that one up here. You've optimized the knife. So can you take a Japanese knife lower down to about, at 12 degrees, there was a test where they were using the best tester, and the actual nylon fiber of the best tester was deforming the apex. Again, depending on how thin that apex is. But at 12 degrees, anything lower than that, you're going to actually be crumpling the edge with the nylon wire. It might be because it's almost like a point force little thing, even though it's nylon. You come up to about 13, 14 degrees, you'll see a lot of shuns are sharpened at 14 degrees, and they're chipped out. It's because the steel is brittle and the edge is thin. And then you mix that with the 1, 2, 3 of something that shouldn't be like slightly crunchy, and that's why all the shuns are chipped up. So what I said to the people that bring me in to chip shuns is, shoot, I can fix the problem, and I'm going to increase the angle by 1 or 2 degrees. You're never going to have a chipped shun again. And so far, knock on wood, that has been the absolute truth, is I haven't seen any of the shuns that I've sharpened come back. And their angle is at 15, 16 degrees. Kitchen knives can handle it. All your basic steels for all your basic tasks can handle 15 degrees. That is why it's my go-to angle. Now, if it's a cleaver and I'm doing it here on the machine, just showing up. So let's say I'm sharpening this cleaver. What I did, just to backtrack for a second, sidetrack, is I went with that convex taper edge trailing over there, and then I buffed and removed the burr up there, and it was all edge trailing. So this has got a polished edge. You can hear how buttery smooth that is. Was that on camera? Hopefully that was. But there's no bite to it. It's like literally like it's on glass. So that edge is hair popping sharp, but we don't shave hair because it's for kitchen use. But as an example, hair is actually really neat because it'll stick to the side of the hair, and that's how you know how sharp it is. Kind of like a best test. But you don't want to be shaving hair off your arm and giving them back to customers. They're going to use it in their kitchen. The point is that the polished edge has no bite to it. What is this tool used for? It's used for chopping. So by removing those little micro teeth that I love so much, they're not being used on this type of a steel. If I was to use this on an angle guide system, I would come here, and then there's usually a bevel, and I'll come and kick it up about 2 or 3 degrees per side. So now we went from 15 to 20 plus degrees. And again, you're just going swipe, 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 swipe. You angle match at a higher degree, but you can use the angle guide to get you a different angle as well. It's kind of hard to show with the Convex, but when you actually have a thick knife that has a flat and a bevel, you can choose to go on the flat, give a narrower apex bevel, or you can go on the primary grind and lay the primary grind flat on the angle guide, and then you get 2 to 3 degrees more per side. And you still get the consistency of using the angle guide. Can you guys hear the vacuum in the background? Is it annoying? Horribly annoying? I got you guys kind of over by the zone, by the closet door. The other location was cool because the vacuum was in its own sealed back room, back storage room. And we poked a hole through the wall. Let's do bring you guys down. Perfect. Somebody keeping track of how many we're sharpening today? All right, we got a little Deba. Love Debas. One of my favorite knives right here. This is the Tajiro K-tip. We were selling these for quite a while. Beautiful knife. Love the K-tip. Don't know why. And a Mercer. Okay. Let's see what we got. Check the chat. Bill in Southwest Virginia. Aloha. Nicholas, that's exactly what I was saying there. If it's chippy, you got to either assume that they chunked into something that they shouldn't have. If it looks pretty severe, that's usually what the case is. But if it's just regular uniform chipping along the edge, then you can be pretty well assured that the knife just didn't have the right geometry to handle the task. I mean, if they went to go chop I've seen actually guys take a Japanese knife like this beautiful Tajiro or something even more delicate than that and try to chop blocks of ice, and it wrecks the knife. Maybe the most savage, beautiful thing I've ever seen. Yeah, the rehab that's the bomb, man. That's an iced tea. Probably not good for my adrenal glands, but let's switch it up a little bit. Let's send you down this angle here. There we go. So we got 4 knives. Let's just see how we can crank them out. It does take me a little longer typically because I am talking while I'm doing it. How's my Cubitron? Getting a little worn out. Let's give ourselves a freshie. I don't think I put this tape on for better suction. There we go. And I don't think I got the right vent thing going. There we go. Hear it? Nice. Okay, let's get a fresh Cubitron. Because I do so much work with the Cubitron as my first step. Uh-oh. I think I'm popping a fuse. I'm definitely popping a fuse. There we go. Surge protector was overloaded. Always something. You may see the belt wobbling on me. It's because my tracking wheel, I've had this machine for 4 years, and the tracking wheel's actually starting to get a little flat because our tracking wheels aren't made with the hard plastic. It's a polyurethane, a hard durometer polyurethane, kind of like a skateboard wheel. I think it's a little harder than that though. There we go. So what I did when nobody was looking, because I don't have, is I just stuck a little sandpaper up underneath and re-rounded it. Don't get your finger caught. I've done that. All right, you guys ready? Wrench it out. What? What? Okay. Not sure what context that is, but I'll probably not be able to stop myself. If you've noticed, as I'm going, I oftentimes will point at a wheel and say belt. So the first couple swipes, you're going to knock off any of that loose material. After that, you're immediately if you watch closely, you can actually see me re-apex as I go. Right there. And I run it down for a clean. Light in the right spot. There we go. There we go. I'll do the single bevel last. I'll ruin the single bevel last for you guys. So the heel was a little high on that one. I don't think that's called an elf shoe, but it was actually high heeled. And so what I did is I just pushed in a little harder. A lot of it's just control. Okay, this is just a Dexter Basics Deba. The inclusive angle from the flat of the back, I know it's hollow ground, but the flat and the primary grind is about 4 to 5 degrees. That won't hold an edge. So you have to put a micro bevel. I know there's names for all the stuff. So instead of going flat on the flat, I'll put it up onto the primary grind, and then I'm going to be I'm just going to cut in a bevel. And this thing's so dull, they've never had it sharpened. That didn't even brought up a burr right there on the back. Doesn't even look like they've ever actually whetstoned it on the back. Okay, you guys can't tell anybody. Usually the guy, whoever owns the sushi knife, has overground the flat. You can see there's almost Actually, almost no hollow ground to it. That was a 1,000 grit Naniwa diamond, and it's already bleeding down into the hollow ground. So I just wanted to give it a fighting chance. I do have some coarser grit diamond, but what I'm looking for is I'm looking for just it to come to the edge. Like right here, it still needs a little more. There we go. 3,000 Naniwa diamond, probably one of my favorite stones. I don't do the little finger walk down. I hold still and I let my body move it into the position I want it to be. If I was going to bring up the burr on the front, I'd probably hold it like this. Same basic thing as what I'm doing with the belt. I just did that to make it a little shiny so I can actually see see how it's washed out there. It's not there barely, it's barely here, but I've got a full edge to work with now. Normally I don't have to do that. But now I can see the clean line and I can see it disappear. So we're good. And then I'll just walk this one down. Hopefully. Yep. Maybe not. So you can use a brush, you can use a whetstone. There's a very fine burr that's on the back right now because I went this way, but it's edge leading, so it's more of a strong formation. Now I'm going to pull that burr back with the whetstone. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to pull that burr back, and I'm going to cut it off. Hey, bud. Yeah, I'm live streaming. That's all good. How's life going? Nice. Auntie said you were stopping by. Did you try some of the YouTube tips there?
Yeah. Kind of off it lately because I just had rodeo school. So I've been really able to much.
That's okay.
But I've been coming here a lot, so I just come down and help her pick up whatever. She tells me that the boxes are heavy.
Oh.
I just got whatever I did.
Okay. Well, I think, yeah, we'll talk about that.
You got fried rice? You might have some left over if you want.
Okay, I think I'm good today. Thank you, though.
Alright, yeah.
All right, mahalo, brother. Got distracted. So it's because you got that angle and then the secondary angle, so you want to. This is where I know you're just looking at my shoulder there. Sorry, guys. Stropping is where, so the first two steps are, creating a burr, removing a burr, and stropping is where you actually get something really sharp. And I don't know if this Deba is going to do it. It failed on me once, but let's see. There we go. All right, Deba down. final thing I would probably say about the Deba is that when you get too big of a bevel on that edge bevel, the micro bevel, when the micro bevel isn't micro anymore, then you got to do a full grind. And that's another thing that's pretty easy to do with belts and practice, but you can also really screw up a knife if you don't have the experience. Everything is just practice. So I'm leaving this one with a little drag on it, a little bite. That's on purpose. The Deba I gave more of a polished edge because that's going to be usually used for more food, fish, and delicate things like that. If a Deba has been maintained and it's got a flat back, then it really is just a matter of bringing up the burr and knocking it off twice, stropping it, and it's good to go. I mean, it's as sharp as you could ask for. Yeah, that's sharp. Okay, we're going to put those in the box. And then I am going to take 2 seconds. And back. Go get it. I put her other one up here because it's just too noisy. Stop, dog. Oh. I'll have to look that up. Ellie! Hey, no. Go play. So that was just about 1 hour. I think we got about half the work done. Ellie sees a bunch of people outside. Ellie, come here. Come here. Sit. Good girl. Oh, go back. Spin around. There you go. Good. There you go. Oh, you almost did it. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come here. Come on. She's like, no. When I come home, she misses me enough. Come on. Come here. Yeah. Come here. Come on. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's a good girl. He's a nice. Oh, she sees somebody outside. There they are. Get them. Okay, we're not going to bark at everybody. Okay? Let me go. Tucker. Shush. Chris Wright, which wheels are you talking about for serrated? Now the diamond wheels are on a 1-inch center. There you are. So here's one of our steak knife serration wheels. It's got a 1-inch center, and then we use these spacers that will go from 1/2 inch to 5/8 inch to 3/4 inch. So you have a universal arbor adapter. So here's your universal arbor adapter. It goes in the center, and then you can adjust this to fit any standard buffer grinder shaft, which is usually the 1/2 inch or the 5/8. I don't think 3/4 is even that popular, but maybe it is with heavy duty industrial level stuff. Yeah, those red universal arbor adapters were a game changer. We order them by 10,000 at a time now. Nice. All right, moving along. Definitely not cranking anything out. I think I made a rub joke the other day. Somebody laughed about that as well. I guess we're sanding, so it's kind of like rubbing, but anyways, we don't need to go there. All right, 2 knives. 50 glass lines. If you guys haven't yet, join the newsletter. I swear it's not a Ponzi scheme. Maybe I should start my own Discord. Any of you guys know me, I'm the moderator and admin on many of the sharpening groups on Facebook at this point. Several of the groups have over 20,000 members. That was another labor of love. I took the point off the back of that one. It's too close to where your finger is, and it doesn't serve any purpose. This one's a little safer. It's not as easy to catch it. Yeah, Cubitron, I run about 2 Cubitrons for every 1 Trizac. If you're ever curious about what's actually happening on the edge, go look up my knife sharpening in 1 minute video. Oh, dude, yeah. So the knife sharpening in 1 minute video, I actually show under a microscope at each level I used to do a lot of microscope stuff. I'll probably do it again. But that's actually how I learned a lot of this stuff, is by taking physical observations to see, because I was hearing things that just turned out not to be true. I used to go from 120 to 200 to 400 to 600 to 800 to 1200 to 1600 to 3000 grit. And then I would do a 3 micron polishing phase, 3 steps, and wonder why my knives weren't sharp. Well, it's because I was over stropping. Every time you add a step, you add a variable, you add a chance to make a mistake, you add a chance to increase the dullness by rounding or rolling the edge. Beautiful. And it turns out you can actually go, it won't look super pretty, but you can go from an 80 grit burr to a strop, polish that burr off, and it'll push cut. You'll still be able to see the 80 grit scratches in there, which we're trying to eliminate. And that's what the 240 grit wheel does. You guys think phone book paper is a valid test? I use it to listen. I mean, I know they're all sharp. I do this sometimes mostly for you guys, just so you can, the repeatability of the edge leading angle guide, and then when you strop it a certain way. But this is how I test my own edges to make sure I'm maintaining a consistent finished product as well. There we go. We go right down here. Everyone's got their different methods. Yeah, U-line catalog. JD, I had a set of Sharpening glass, one of my first sets actually, and I just found that they clogged up really fast. So I didn't, it's not that I hate them or that I don't think I don't work, I found that they clogged up. These ones here are what a lot of the professional, this is your Naniwa 3. Oops, sorry guys, let me shut that off. We get so many spam calls. So yeah, the Naniwa 3000, man, it just feels so smooth. And it may only have that much material on it, but it's not like you're wearing through it. All right. Yeah, U-line catalogs. Rich asks if it's worth it to do serrated knives, steak knives. There's different ways to do it. If you got a steak knife serration wheel and they match that serration pattern, which is this one's 8 teeth per inch, it can still be a little off. So it's really fussy. I do them. I got several different ways to do them. Here's another little secret little thing you can use. That is a micro serration wheel on a flat hone, and that will put one, what that will do is that will create the ever sharp type of edge. You know which one I'm talking about? The one we all hate. All right, let's see what we're going to do next here, guys. You guys enjoying this? I appreciate you hanging out. Well, we got... Huh. That's weird. I swear we just did... I see. Huh, something's going on here because I recognize these knives. I recognize these knives. Here's the wavy serration one we did just last week, and I felt it, and it still feels sharp. So why would this be here? Thought they picked this up. All right, we'll have to check. That's actually good in a way because that's a big order. Let's do these three. Quick little 1, 2, 3. And then I just got these to do. John Welland, yeah, I like the phone book paper. It's my favorite. Hard to find nowadays sometimes, but you can get it. So let me do these three, and then we'll do some hair scissors. Sound fun? Since I'm mostly caught up. I actually got one more. Notice you don't see the dust anymore? That's just so crazy. So that little dust extraction makes it so. This is why I like these 1x30s. The open frame, I thought they were kind of a fad item when they came in, and they work fine. I think it's like guns or knives or anything else you get into collecting or you start using. Ford, Chevy, you know, you get used to a Chevy and then you get in a Ford and you go, ew. I was on Team Ford for a lot of years. I had a Ford Mach 1, 1971 Mach 1 rust bucket lead sled. Constantly having trouble with it. But I was on Team Ford, baby. And then I finally took a ride in a Chevy and I went, what the heck? What the hell? Even their pickup trucks, the Ford pickup trucks used to ride so rough. And then you get in like a Chevy Silverado or something and it's driving like a Lincoln Town Car across the dirt roads up in Alaska. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. You guys see how easy this is? I mean, I know I make it easy. You make it look easy. Bring up the burr, refine the burr, or refine the edge. Light stropping if you want to have some bite. If you want it to have less bite, take it to the wheel. The wheel is essentially 5 times as aggressive. I can go strop, 1, 2, that's 1. If I did that 5 times, so 10 total swipes, that would be equal to 1 swipe on the leather wheel. The wheel has got that point of contact, and it's spinning, and it's focused energy, and it just strips any bite or any toothiness off there. It also is really good at removing a burr, like an edge trailing burr. It's not good for being able to control how much bite you got left on the edge. A couple swipes underneath there, and like I've shown under the microscope, you'll have this little white line under the microscope, which is of course a flat light reflecting back, and you can make that line disappear, and right as it's going to disappear, you can still see little bites and little teeth from the side. And that's the Goldilocks zone I'm always talking about, where it'll push cut and it will still slice. So you're looking for a bite. You're not looking for loose burr. You're looking for a bite which is this has got snag and drag, and yet it's still popping hair. And it's actually a little trick. Different steels will do it slightly different. And you get into that feel for it when you got a consistency, when you're running the same setup, boom, 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 and you're running that over and over again. Let's get Bill out of the way here. Bill gave me a massive order. Big order, which is cool. Yeah, it's a big order. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. A couple cleavers, a couple fillet knives. Nothing too crazy though. So 15 knives, about 7 minutes. Especially when you got a fresh Cubitron. Okay, I like to have this right out where I can center it dead center on my body, and my shoulders are resting in a resting position. And my eye, one of the other benefits to this method, this technique, is that your face is close enough that you can physically observe what you're doing. You got really good control because you're right here. Where when some of the other methods where they got it tipped away and they're this far away, it's a monkey deal. The main focus though is that light, that angle allows me to see that I've apexed. This one's certainly been sharpened before, but not by me. This one's been every one of these is being apexed. I promise you that, because if I didn't apex it, I wouldn't be able to finish my sharpening with a refinement and a stropping step. I'm using the light reflecting to tell me that all the chips, damage, and material has been removed. I'll press harder on the big ones. I'll press lighter on the little ones. I'll refine the tip. I just put the tip back in that one. I'll drop down the bolster as I need to. I'm doing this all on the fly while I'm doing the sharpening and resting it on the angle guide. Little guys, cheap little guys. Instead of cheap, try saying softer steel. Or more inexpensive. Nobody wants to hear their knife is cheap. You're not helping anybody. It's single bevel Kamikoto. Just cut in the bevel. Another one here. Put the tip back on. Another Kamikoto. That's all you gotta do. I'll deal with the rest of it later. Here's a great example. Lay it flat, tip it up, cut in the bevel. Lay it flat, tip it up, cut in the bevel. Moving on. You guys got me? Yep, we're good. We'll go back to that fat one again. Lay it flat, raise it up. I'm looking for a little bit of dust coming over the front. That's how I know I've apexed on that. Nice complete swipe. Kamikoto will come from the back. You're just using the belt to brush the burr to the front. Cut the burr off. Brush the burr to the front. Cut the burr off. Same with this single bevel. Does it introduce a little bit of micro unflatness? Maybe. When you've been around and seen enough damage done by whetstones, guys that just hammer the backs of the flat surface because they can't sharpen the bevel, and the back bevel is that wide, I'm not worried about it. Each knife is different. It depends on who's taking care of it, how they're taking care of, what they're using. If I get a single bevel knife in, it's clear the guy knows what he's doing. Ooh, customer. Customer coming in. Hello, customer. Nice. You're kidding me. Give me just 1 second. Oh, I'm excited. How much stuff do we got? Okay. Okay. So I'm doing a live stream with just 50 sharpener guys, me and 50 of my friends. I won't show your face on camera. Can I bring up the result? Okay. I mean, you can be on. What do we got? What do we got? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Jackpot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me get your contact info.
The only thing that I was told by our surgery team is that they would like these to stay separate.
Okay.
They did have them sectioned out with these gold topped ones separately as well. I don't know the difference. I'm not worried about them. They're like in a perfect world we keep it separate, but
Kind of look like it's semi-separate. Don't we get kind of do that? Yeah. And then we'll definitely keep those
yeah,
separate.
that would be great.
And what's the contact number to text when I'm done?
My phone number is 808
Yep.
726 2925.
And it's underneath. And end of the day?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just let me know when they're ready. I figured, I'll
Okay.
plan on 3 at the latest.
Yep. Three is our close. Auntie will be here holding down the shop tomorrow. So I'm going to take care of this all today, one way or another.
Fabulous.
And then we'll get it. I don't remember how much we're charging for you guys. I think I give you a discount. So, and then if you get tax write-off, I can do a donation. And then it saves you guys a little bit of money too.
Whatever you want to do,
Okay.
I'll take it. One question I have for you
Yes, ma'am.
is my daily pocket money.
You got a daily pocket? Let's go. Be right back. Look, boys, we got some action. Benchmade. Is that a bug out?
Something like that, yeah. So I actually lived in Oregon until last year, so we got to go to the Benchmade, place.
Right.
But, yeah, I never known about, how I should
No. In fact, that's actually what we're here to do today. That's what we're all about today. Is me and 50 of my closest friends. They hang out with me. And I do sharpening tutorials and teach. And let's get a little clean on that. Bing, bang, boom. Where you guys at? Come over here. Well, we love the Humane Society. We've gotten all our pets from there. I volunteered. They've actually helped save one of my dog's lives. He had like a lump or something. She goes, "We'll just take it off the bill," and so we did like a quid pro quo. And so let me show you guys, so you can see. Not sure if it's going to focus or not. There we go. I mean, that's a pretty clean looking bevel. Symmetrical both sides. And then it's super bitey. And then we'll just do the final strop step, like we were just talking about. Just a delicate strop, because we want that thing to be ready to go. And for you, my dear.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I knew it needed it.
Yes. Nope. You got a factory sharp edge, maybe sharper than factory, and only took a few minutes. Brianna, I'll give you a call, or I'll send a text.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. And what's your name?
I'm Cliff. Pleasure. I think we all have friends. I think I have several family friends now that work there at the Humane Society too.
Very cool.
So happy to see you guys, and always happy to do things for the surgeons. They're helping take care of our animals.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You got it. I know you guys are busy. If you ever, actually, we actually didn't get this little one there. Hello. Say hi.
Oh my goodness. Oh, baby.
We got a little baby.
Hi,
Oh,
oh my gosh. She's like a little beagleback.
Yes, yes. Well, that's actually what I call her.
How old is she?
3 years old.
Oh, she looks like a baby still.
Yeah, I know. She's always going to be a baby. She's
Wow.
a baby.
Ridiculous. I love it. She's super cute. Oh my gosh.
She's super nice. Oh, no, she don't like the guys outside. That's why she's in the other room.
Oh, good girl. Oh.
So if you ever find any more of these little things that need a home, come here. Come on. We're looking for a friend for her.
Okay, yeah. I know that there's been a couple of small dogs that have come in recently that are not quite the same breed, but
No, Chihuahua, Edie.
yeah.
She's got the min pin and a little Chihuahua.
Yeah.
The other one was a terrier.
How often do you sharpen katanas?
When I need to, $50.
Okay, because my partner and my roommate, they own a business together,
Okay.
and they're like kickback from their credit card.
Right.
At the end of the year, they bought katanas.
Real ones?
Real ones.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm going to let them know that you're here, because at some point, they'll need it, but...
I've sharpened some like where you can hold the thing up and you'll slice it in midair. So yeah, we started at about 50. Let them know.
Sweet.
We can
Okay.
take care of them.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right, you got
See you
it.
later.
See ya. Woo! Well, talk about a plot twist. I thought we were getting close to the end of the run here. Bill's knife sharpening. I do not take off the leather belt daily. It's a little loose, but it's at an equilibrium with the tension that I've got on this machine with that spring. Wow, what a cool deal. I swear to God, this is the last batch of knives. We were making good progress on them too before we were so delightfully interrupted there. I usually separate them into smalls, mediums, larges when I'm doing the final stropping too. Kind of thing. You notice I gave her a complimentary pocket knife sharpening. She's my point of contact. She's going to be basically she needs to know that she can trust me. And she needs to know that she feels good when she needs something done, because I'm going to take care of it for her. I'm not going to overcharge them. Our Humane Society works crazy around here, and I bet you it's the same everywhere. We have a huge feral cat population, just for an example, and they go and take like a mobile surgery van, and they go out in the bushes and they just capture all these cats and start spaying them and neutering them to try and keep the cat population down, the feral cat population down, and they can't keep up. Bevel, micro bevel. After about that many knives, you want to feel, make sure your leather feels like it's giving you the right edge you want. I like it. Cleaver. We know the deal with the cleaver. Cleaver can come here. The more polished that edge. There, see that polished edge? Okay, Bill's got so I guess we'll talk a little business here on the side. I'll just share my oop. My bad. You guys didn't see that. Take it back. So by working with the Humane Society, you can see the volume of work they have. We're not a big area. This isn't a big metropolitan area. Maui's got 150,000 people on the island, I think. But they tell every veterinary clinic, every dog doctor, everybody on the island, hey, we get our stuff sharpened here, or this is the guy that does it. There is nobody else. Which segues into another business concept, to do your business as if you have competition already. I had another business that the guy thought he was the only one on the island, so he was running it at a C- average. And the bar was set so low for competence that I literally was able just to step right over the bar and offer the customers a better product, a better service, at a better price, with a better connection, better customer service. Whew. You guys are making me work here. Nice. Yeah, exactly, JD. D Wolf, you're asking how to clean the leather belt and the felt belt. I did it a little earlier. I usually use a worn out abrasive belt, and then I'll use rubbing alcohol on a paper towel to wipe it clean, and then I'll reapply fresh. Get rid of that. Yeah, of course. Happy to help you both. I'm just glad you guys are able to show up. I made a little bit more of an announcement about it so that we could get, you know, some more people connecting and staying in. I know it's a work day, a work week. But we're going to do this every Tuesday, because every Tuesday I come in and I got a massive amount of work. And why not? What do you say? Should we get the hair scissors out of the way and then I can focus on all the surgical stuff? They're pretty straightforward, honestly. Let's just do it and get it done. seems to be my little default work area for a lot of stuff. All right, I'll move this out of the way. We'll make a nice little clean work area for us here. Get some light coming down. So I'm already in. Sorry guys, here we go. So I'm already inspecting. No rubber bumper, crossing over. Tension is super loose. You can run a fingernail down. Over polished. No bite, dull, but no big chips. This one's so tight they don't move. Bumper. Let's just start with this one. Both of them are convex. Let's just go ahead and start with the easy one. Go ahead and take it out. Take off the thumb screw. Clicker plate. Take it out carefully. Put your screw on the ground there. We're going to wipe as we go. They're always pretty gunky on the inside. Just wipe them off. Perfect. Sit you guys over here. And this isn't a tutorial. I'm just walking through my steps. So there is a slight difference. You can check for set. And you use a like a block and a light and make sure that you get the bend. And I'd say 95% of the ones I see are okay. And so I just go through the normal process and sharpen, and then if they need more work after that. Some guys use these wet, some guys use these dry. My first instructor was Ward Collins, rest in peace, sir. Miss him. Ward taught me use your hand. And you feel it, because your hand will actually feel any particles on there. And so once you feel there's no particles left, so this is dry. This would be a dry sharpening. And bring the light over a little bit more. You guys seeing that all right? Yeah, I think you're okay. Get that out of the... So what I'll do is I'll lay it down. Pressure on the pivot, 45 degrees. Just come to a complete stop, lift off, examine. We got a good ride line. It's hard to see it. There it is. Got a good ride line all the way down to the end, which is beautiful. And then this one, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come to a complete stop, lift up. And that's going to put a mirror on the ride line. It's not showing up very well, you guys, sorry. The reason why I wasn't worried about overdoing it, that's a 3000 grit. It's literally just making that shiny to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Complete stop. Wipe, inspect. Perfect ride line. I see a little bit of light reflecting up there, but that's on the outside. Okay. And this is just one way to do it. There's many, many ways to do it. Can we Pull out the one-of-kind Katoku forehead. If anybody's asking where they can get a machine like this, it's the only one like it that currently is on the market. Did I? So I took two twin head machines and bolted them together and then ran one bar along the full length. Overkill maybe, but it works great for me. I've got a 1500 grit silicon carbide. I hate it, but they work. You get consistent results with them as well. Try to raise you guys up a little more. There we go. You guys see that all right? Nice. Looks like we got 55 people here. Thank you everybody for joining. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask or comment. I am checking chat. So hair scissors are their own thing. I've paid, and I've gratefully had training multiple times by other professional sharpener instructors for hair scissors. So this is not instruction. I'm just demonstrating and talking out loud as I go. I've got my angle set to about 50 degrees, 50, but that's in hair scissor angles. Very lightly. Just brought up a burr. This one is pretty low. Now I'm going to take here. You guys see that all right? Yeah. So this clamp won't let it go past that angle. And then I'll convex it. Because I want it to look really nice on that airplane wing, and it does. Yep, that's fine. And we'll go ahead and put a little compound on here. I'm going to take I can see the burr in the light. I'm going to move the burr back. Some of it's already going to start flaking off. And then here's my trick, is I kick it up about 1 degree. Since it's a stropping step, but the wheel is going very fast. And then you want to use your light to your advantage to make sure you're removing all the burr. Any little bit of loose burr, you can fluff that off. The burr's all gone. And now I'll roll it back. And make a beautiful mirror polished edge with no bevel. But by kicking that angle finder off by about 1 degree, that means I can't roll the edge, even if I push in hard while I'm buffing and polishing. And these I will test on my skin, and it's literally tree topping. You can run your finger down. There's no loose burr material, and it's splitting hair sharp. That's how sharp hair scissors need to be. Which is crazy. You think about how many times a hairdresser was cutting around your ears. All right, round 2. See if I can't bring you in a little better. There you go. You guys good? Not seeing any comments. Oh, there we go. Yeah. DeWolf. Yeah, that's a bad day. Yeah, you got to try to do that. That's a bad day. That's honestly, that sucks. Okay, so I'm resetting back to 50. Hopefully this will show up. I'm literally trying to get around the camera for you guys. There we go. There we go. Sorry. All right, let's see if we can't do it. Is that nice little burr come up? Probably not reflecting exactly right. Light angle matters so much in sharpening. Okay, once you got a full burr, I'm making sure I don't have a big facet. And since I don't have a large facet, then I will let the that's just to help maintain the convex. I've sharpened with belts before, but I found that you just can't get the same result. You end up bullnosing it a little bit. The belts tend to be a little softer. They tend to be a little bit more, have a little more cushion to them. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, I kicked it up 1 degree. Might be able to even see the burr come off. I don't know. Probably not. And then I'll same thing here is you got the right tools, you got the right techniques, you got the right training. Got the right focus, apparently. Perfect. Let's shut that wheel down. So that's how to sharpen hair scissors. I'm sure most of you guys know it, but just the things I haven't mentioned in this video. Look at my hand. These are reasons why you need to get proper training. I didn't mention at all that the set and the whole geometry, the tension, all these things are taught by, these are things you can't really just pick up on a YouTube video. As much as I am the YouTube video guy, this is the area, I've talked about it before. I mean, I have a background in electromechanical repair, robotics. I've been a repairman my whole life. I love fixing things, I love doing things. And I was willing to admit that this wasn't something that you can learn through just, I'm also a visual learner. But some things you need somebody to show you. That's why there's the apprenticeships, mentorships. And I was lucky enough to, my first instructor was Ward, and he knew who had trained a lot of the trainers, which I respected that. He knew who to look out for. I guess it's the same in knife sharpening too, these days. You know, I got a guy flying in this weekend for some training. 1 or 2 days. There we go. Man, I'm excited. We've done 3 guys this year already. First guy was on knives, edge leading, edge trailing, angle guide use, using the different tools, burr removal, angles, geometry, safety. We covered all that. And then the second day we went over into Japanese knife thinning. And we can cover the concepts, but then at a certain point you got to, then you just go practice. But it's pretty cool. Very cool. I took him with just a basic, basically it's a Cosini knife. You know, the big old chunk of steel, the old Cosini. I guess they now make a skinny Cosini, but old Chunko was Cosini. Wasn't Cosini. I'm not disrespecting the Cosini name. It looked like one of those standard knives that are used in swap out programs. And I took a Sharpie and I said grind. So that knife goes straight up and then just goes right to a bevel. Usually it's a hollow ground bevel. So I used a Sharpie and I said remove the hollow ground. And so his first practice was using the slack of the belt to remove the hollow ground. And then I drew a line further up. And I said, now take your grind up to here. Well, that's easy because he'd already been grinding and keeping a uniform grind, and so he just moved that grind up by dropping the angle down. And by the time he was done with that, I drew in the third line. We put on the radius platen, and I said, now this line you cannot cross. That's indicating where the hammered finish would be. Don't cross this line. And by the time he was done, he had taken a Chunko Cosini knife, and first he tapered the apex, then he brought it back, then he brought it all the way back, perfectly thinned, all the way up, halfway up, and then satin polished the whole thing, and then did the sharpening process. It was razor sharp. That was his student knife he got to take home with him. And I've got 20 more under the bench, so come on down. Let's try you over here. There we go. I know you guys are itching to get to the other thing too. Me too. We're just at 2 minutes, so we'll just wrap this up another 5, and then we'll be into some surgical tools. So that's the bonus for hanging around. This one here I want to show you guys. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. It's got a big bevel on it, and then it's slightly rounded. So it's got a rounded facet. George Foreman, that is not a Ray Pope stone, but there's a lot of them out there. The CBN wheel, John is, called you John, sorry, John. It's about 300 grit, 320. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't wear out. So since I have just a faceted bevel, we're actually going to do some work. I'm going to get a little water close by, and we're going to do a little bit of work. I'm going to set this at 45 degrees. It's a little bit of a cheaper, softer steel. And I'm just going to go back and forth. There's a burr coming up. You guys probably can't see it. It's the most exciting part of sharpening. There, you can actually see the burr. Perfect. Except for you can't see it there. There we go. So the burr came up down here. You're kind of right on the edge, so you're probably, there you go. But it's not completed all the way up to the tip. You just have to be careful with heat and pressure, and don't roll it down like I almost did right there. Keep it flat, guys. Because once you elf shoe a scissor tip, once you elf shoe that scissor tip, you can't bring it back. So we're actually cutting in a pretty good bevel on here. what I'm trying to do is cut, see that facet? I'm not worried about it. Once I get that facet in, then I'm going to plane it all back from there. There's the bevel. All right, so we got our bevel. Now I'm going to go back about 2 degrees. Then I'm going to go back about 2 more degrees. Try and zoom you out just a little bit. Then I'm going to come back about 2 more degrees. So what I'm doing is I'm grinding back. So I've got bam, 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 bam on that. Hopefully that'll show up. Ouch. Side note, I think it's ironic. People worry about getting knives hot, but you never see anybody worry about getting a scissor hot. They get hot. So I got multiple facets there. Okay, and since we're doing heavy grinding, I'll just go ahead and pop and swap. Oh, these are a 2000 grit. No wonder. Huh. That explains. Make sure you don't have any like little debris and stuff in your pad, so that your pad sticks down and it's flat with no speed bumps. Okay. Okay, now we're blending. So this thing just had a big bevel that was rounded over right up at the top of the facet, and now we've cut in the bevel, multifaceted, and now we're kind of smoothing all those out. And that's starting to look pretty nice and rounded up. You right there? Okay. We will to be continued that in a minute. How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good. I got live streaming with 40 or 50 of my closest sharpener friends.
Nice.
You good?
Sure, yeah. Should I come back? Hey, I am incognito.
Some guys are a little touchy. Some guys are a little touchy about their thing. You are pretty incognito.
I am pretty touchy, it's true.
No.
I'm a sensitive guy.
Yeah.
Nice, I'm happy to come back now.
No, you're good. We got, so full disclosure, the little post-it note that was attached here was flying up and down behind my bench.
Oh, okay.
So tell me what the post-it note said.
To make them all even, the same height.
Yay! Okay. And also, I didn't make them too shallow because anything you do is going to make them on a bend.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of like a rudder on a boat.
Yeah.
Show you guys that. So here's what we're talking about. It's called a cocoa poker, but these are made out of aluminum.
I think that's what we determined.
Yeah, and so I think it's actually a design flaw. So you do a grind on the flat of the belt, and that leaves you with this scalloped edge. They are nasty. You wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to. There you go. But if we were able to make them out of chromoly, we'd be doing much better. That'd be a much better thing. The second half of the series is in the back, and I'm grinding on them today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I didn't expect this much work this morning. I'm grinding.
Machete and that blade?
And then the machete and that blade are done.
Alright.
Sorry.
Cliff's the best. Love this guy. Nobody's better. Stop.
Please.
5 stars. Highly recommend.
Please stop.
We've been streaming for 2 hours. They've been watching me grind.
Really?
Yeah, I've been talking to them.
So I do live sharpening tutorials demonstrating the products and the techniques, the tools and techniques.
That's very good.
So,
Love it.
can I just take a photo of this and we'll just do one big.
I will want to pick up the next
Yeah,
one.
let's do.
Yeah.
Let's do
Oh, no,
that.
this is perfect. Go ahead and take a photo because there was one blade that fell out of the truck.
I'm actually live streaming, so
Okay.
I can't photograph.
Okay. Oh,
Go ahead, photograph it.
I'll go ahead and I'll write the number down.
BRB.
Okay. That's my good friend Michael. He's the coconut guy. He runs a crew of guys. This is the machete that we sharpen for him. If you want to call it a machete, somebody's going to call me out for that. We do a convex mirror polished, satin polished. That the convexing and the thickness of the steel allow this to be done at 18 degrees, maybe down to 17 degrees now.
I shave with them too.
You can.
Yeah.
You've been missing yours.
I bet, yeah, I'm getting a little rough here. I get my 7 o'clock shadow. Here's this one for
Okay.
that.
All right, let me go run it over there.
I can take a photo of these too, and I'll send it to you. Or you just want to write down the number?
Do that, or I can just ring it. I can ring it. You just ring it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Number 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 90. I mean, look at that, it's 100 bucks.
You take such good care of me.
I just don't like doing the complicated math.
We like our zeros. Easy peasy. Oh,
I'm moving to a new aerospace.
Yeah.
In Kula.
No way.
Yeah. Which one did you go? Did you go for that one? You got pretty good one.
well, not expensive for us. 2,000 square feet, 2,500.
No way. You need a neighbor? Is there room for one more?
Potentially. But we don't need all the space, so yeah. What do you need it for?
Storage or all of this is
Oh, yeah.
moving another 400 and 8 to 9 months.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Yeah. It's the barn. It's local family, not local. We live here. Not local, traditional. But our money's going to them as opposed to something I
I
know.
love it. Love it. So you got 2,000 square. Is that twice the 400? Yeah, it's just twice it. Well, when you outgrow that space with your abundance of, in about a year, now, how long at least?
We locked in a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Last time it was there for 7 years. Oh yeah. Although it's really it was
Well, we live in it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm trying to get that
Yeah,
spot.
right.
No retail. But
Yeah.
there you go. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
All right. A little bit, not much.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah. So we just moved in this weekend. We have still have a lot more to move in, but like
Because, I'm really would love to know more.
Yeah.
Just the fact that, see, man, thank you, that it's out there means that there's hope for me.
yeah.
That's
It was up there
exactly-
for 4 months.
That's what we need, is we need 2,000 square feet, double this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go in between.
Will you email me this one? Give me a trouble. Oh, you're open side.
Yay!
Now you know.
Dang it.
Thought I was gonna live stream it, here we go.
The Biohumane Society brought me 200 surgical tools to do
Oh my
today.
goodness.
Check this out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I promised the boys if they were good, we'd actually do some. So.
Oh wow. I'm curious. Do you do beard trimmers at all?
I do beard trimmers,
Yeah.
and we don't advertise it a lot, but I have all the machines to do the beard trimmers as well. So,
Next time.
sir,
Have fun. Have fun, you guys and gals and others.
others, love you, love you, brother.
Love you. Take care.
All right.
For now. Till next time. Bye, guys. Later, gamers.
Super good guy. Whew. Oh, I see what's going on. Sorry, you guys. Is that sunshine outside? Let me see what's going on here. Let me just get caught up for a second here. Okay, got it. I think I'm caught up. Sorry for the boring action there for a minute. Let's finish these off real quick. And yeah, any questions or anything can help me to keep you guys. Okay, so I think we were at the buffing and polishing step. Nice. Sometimes you'll still see a little bit of a burr on there, especially when you've got that 1 degree back sort of thing going on. That's all right. You kind of don't want to over polish it either. There you go, sticking to the hair, popping the hair off, no extra burr. Perfect. Okay, let's do one more and get out of here. There you go. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little tired. I've been going for a couple hours now. All right, let's crank that up just a hair. Nice. That one actually came up much quicker. The bevel. Okay, and then I'm going to come back 2 degrees, 2 degrees, 2 degrees, 2 degrees. Check it. Nice. Come on over here. Give it a little cool down. I need to get my mister bottle back. I had a really nice vaporizer mister. Nice smooth blending action. Looking good. Love it. Love it. Little compound. Pro Secret 1 degree kick. Brush off the burr. I've done different methods. This is the one that I currently just repeat, rinse and repeat. I've done ride line, back, forth, back. I've done all different methods from all different instructors. half of that step is just cosmetic. The burr has been gone for since the very first couple seconds. Okay, cool. Whew. Making my safety glasses fog up. Oh yeah. It's a beautiful edge. Happy, happy. Okay, we're gonna put this back together. And this one's also the one that doesn't have a bumper in it. Scissors are fussy. I mean, they're just fussy. By nature, they are fussy. Oh, I see what's going on here. Tightened it all the way down. And I think I forgot one thing. Didn't really forget, but I thought I saw it, but I wasn't sure. There's no washer. What are you gonna do? There's no washer. What are you gonna do? That's where you want to have a toolkit. Of course, having a background in some of the stuff. It's one of the first things I did. So I got washers, I got bumpers, got everything we need right here to do more fiddly stuff. So I'm going to try with the bigger one. Got it right the first try. Let's go. Boom. Bam. Okay. Get that in place. There we go. Bring that down. Now we're talking. So, depending on, so you want it to kind of come down, then you want to set it into place. It's going to compress a little bit over time. So you want it to actually be a little on the tighter side, and you can wiggle it to seat it into place. There it goes. I felt it. It's a little tight, but then you wiggle it. Yeah. A little bit loose. Maybe just a hair looser. Every stylist has got their own, you know, how much they like to have for tension. So then you got to kind of look when you close it all the way, how much of a gap is there, and there's hardly any gap, which kind of sucks. So I'm going to use a small pull through. I got pull throughs with big head and pull throughs with little head. Then we got to get the problem out of the way. So I'm just using a pocket knife to kind of poke that little thing out of there. There it goes. Okay, good. Then we will put the new thumb in. And then we'll pull it down into place. And right as we get down to the very end, I'll put a touch of super glue on it. Good. Then we do the last thing is just cut off that little tail. Then you check to see if it closes all the way, and of course it doesn't. Which means, you guys know what it means. So I'm not sure where it's at. I'm looking for a tip bender. The dreaded breaker bar. Almost be happy not to find it at the moment because I don't feel like breaking somebody's scissors today. How many sharpeners have drawers like this with just random stuff in them from all the sharpenings they've done? This is from my van. Here's all the rods, stones. There's the multi-serration diamond wheel or diamond rod wheel. There's a bender, but that's not the bender. All right, well, we're gonna have to. I'm not gonna snap a pair of scissors today on camera, boys. Not gonna happen. I got a few days on those. The guy's out of town, so I'll find the proper tip bender tool, and I'll do that. Having a good day here. That's what you run into, though. So the situation is, for those paying attention, following along, I know everyone's here, is I put the bumper in, and I could grind that bumper almost all the way down, but look at how much the opening is. And so and oftentimes you have to do a little bit. So even with the bumper almost completely taken out or down, the tips still don't close. So it needs bent. And like the Bruce Hornsby song, that's just the way it is. All right. So they're going to be back in another week. I've got time. And this one got taken care of. We're all good. We're all caught up. Yeah, that's real sunshine outside. That's my that's our new neighbors here. They just got to leave me enough room to. They run a bouncy castle business, believe it or not. But they got to give me enough room to have my customers park. Well, guys, I think we're close. Let me run a few of the surgical scissors through since everyone's been waiting for that. I appreciate everyone hanging out. And then, yeah, we'll probably sign off and I'll get a little bit of lunch. Been sharpening for 2.5 hours straight. So let me grab a couple different variety of things. Similar to hair scissors, I'm gonna use like a disclaimer, you know, like get proper training, that kind of thing. I'm gonna show you these things, but I'm not calling this education, all right? Does that make sense? You know, we've been running the Ezra Mel, when did you trade with Ward, man? He's one of a kind. That man has probably been my biggest inspiration. I found people to inspire me everywhere. in the sharpening industry specifically, where I'm talking about people that have shared and shown and given to help other sharpeners. And that is a huge part of why I'm here today. So I'm very grateful for all those people that have helped touch other people. And so we're in live chat. Yeah. All right, so I'll quit farting around here, Carson. We'll get to it. Yep, a lot of people can pick it up right from the YouTubes. And then for those that can't or want to get more in-depth training, I've got, like I said, I got a guy coming this Saturday. We charge $500 a day for training, but you get basically me and you, and I'm right over your shoulder, and we're talking and walking and working it together. So, first step I would say to anybody that's going to sharpen anything that they don't know what they're sharpening, let's bring it over here where we got a little better light. And I can zoom you guys down in a little bit. There we go. So just ignore the wheel for right now. So this is a pair of hemostats. God dang it. Forgot. So anything that's in medical, dental, or surgery, they're called instruments. Okay, so these are all surgical instruments, and this is, I think they're called, this type of scissor or shear, which they always got a fancy name, but if you look at it close, you'll see it's just got a bevel on it. And if you look closer, or if you're able to tell from the angle, it's actually not a shallow angle. It's actually quite steep, like at 15 degrees or so. So you can increase the angle and improve the cutting performance. Sound familiar? And you could do it several different ways. You could freehand these right here and bring up a burr and then remove the burr. I'm going to get some test material here. There's different test material you can use. One of the really good materials is just rubber, like a TheraBand is one of the. I've just got a rubber glove right here, so we'll use that. Let's see how easy this is. Let's just go ahead, unrehearsed. I'm going to go ahead and just try and bring up a burr here on the CBN wheel, the CBN 3120s. I'm going to kind of look at the angle. I'm going to angle match. Nope. I'm going to go a little more vertical. There's a little burr coming up. See that little burr? Oh yeah, it actually showed up on the camera. Cool. All right. The other thing you're looking for is chips or damage, dings on the edge. Okay, so I'm almost vertical, but we're still not. There we go. So there's your burr. Hopefully that showed up. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so I'm just going to try this. Step you back a minute. I'm going to turn that off. They will get warm. Everything gets warm. Watch out. Especially these little tools. This type of steel seems to want to transmit heat. So they can get warm. I'm going to move them apart from each other and close. Then I'm going to open and close. Furthermore, I'm going to use this right here to cut off any residual burr. And now we're going to see. I'm trying to open this up so I can use it like a material. Is that good enough? Yes, it is. You can actually get into more trouble by trying to over polish. And so I gently cut off the burr. Remember, these were almost at a 90, I call it a 90 degrees, but the actual angle of the bevel was only at about 15 degrees. So that's one way you can do them. But you could see that 320 grit wheel was actually struggling a little bit. Yeah, Chad, just don't drop anything, man. I mean, that's the main thing. If you, I wore my best work pants and work shirt for you guys too. My wife said, "Are you gonna, put shoes on?" I went, "Nah, give them something to laugh about." Honestly, I'm not worried about dropping something. That is not my worry. Okay, so that was trying to get you guys set up here. Let me try flipping you around. There you go. Hang on, everybody. There you go. So I'm going to use that angle guide, and I'm going to use it as a rest, as a tool rest. I'm using the top of the angle guide as a tool rest. And you can see this is curved, so that's why it works especially well for this. Okay. Slow speed. You could go with 180 grit. Just don't press hard. Feel when you got a burr come up. Or if you got your lighting set right. Like I like to, can't really see where I'm at here. Yeah, there you go. I like to kind of look down on it because can you see all that chewed up edge? That's what my light shows me. And at certain angles, only the dings and nicks get reflected back. Not really working out too well for me. Okay. But then I can watch while I cut a clean edge in. Gently cut it off, give it a swipe through a cardboard, paper towel. If you feel so inclined, test it on some rubber material, set it down, move on to the next one. I'll just repeat the process without actually doing the work. So I'll go swipe, watching the edge, make sure all the damage gets removed, gently close it, cut the burr off on the paper, check it on the surgical glove. Yes, you can use it twice as sharp. Yes, you can do burr polishing and removing, and you're welcome to do all that. Here's the next one. So those are the most common thing you'll see, and then I believe these are called Metzen bombs. And they got the click on them and the little clampy tip. But these also have a sharp little, they're like used for cutting sutures, I believe. So they might be suture scissors. I always thought they were called Metzen bombs. Might be the other ones that are curved a little bit. Sorry, this isn't coming into focus very good. There we go. But where they have a sharp edge right here and a sharp edge right here. Okay, so it's the same thing. If I can, I like to bring my belt over to that outside a little bit. There we go. When you see no light reflecting at the edge, these you have to be gentle with. there is a little bit of an angle to it. If that was straight up and down and 90 degrees, these are tipped about 5 to 10 degrees. Anybody that's got these, guaranteed you somebody has been there before you. And these ones you for sure want to test. And one of the tests you can use for these is clipper blade string or nylon string. But once you get the pattern down, also you notice how I'm always holding both sides of the tool, so there's no way for something to flip around and bump into something. That's how I almost lost my eyeball when I was first starting out with a buffer belt sander. I'm always holding all the things that can hurt me. And I felt it cut the burr off. You can check it. See if it'll cut some rubber. Here, cut the rubber. So now you just need to do that about 200 times. That's the essence of it. You know, that's now I've got to do about 199 more of those. But they're pretty quick, they're pretty easy. Another nice thing about the surgery guys is that they understand what end of life means. In fact, it's a term that they're taught, I think they're taught in medical school, which is super cool. So you can tell them, hey, I did 174 of these 25 are at end of life. And they won't be all bummed out about it. It's just the nature of a sharpening instrument, is that they have a lifespan and that you sharpen them over and over and you use them. And at a certain point, there is no material left to grind. There is, at some point when you're closing these together, they will hit, and a lot of times these will have the weird little rubber bands in there with the color-coded bands. Then they don't even close all the way. They don't close all the way, they don't reach all the way to the tip, and you're cooked. These ones are actually coming down towards the end of their life. That's how close we are to the tip when we only have just a tiny little bit down at the bottom. And when they don't, they're done. They'll go buy some new ones. So they're not that complicated. They don't have as steep of an angle as you might think. In fact, they're almost just a dead flat 90, which hurts my heart. If you know what I mean. You know, that you'd think they'd actually put like some little angle on them. Feel free, put a 15, put a 20 degree angle on there. Do something that to help them. And then what they're going to do is when they get done, when you get done with them and give them back to them, they will actually autoclave them. So they put them in a sterilizing high pressure. Nice. That's my rubbing alcohol bath for the day. And rubbing alcohol is good for everything. It cleans your pores. There you go. There's another pro tip for you. Let me see if we got anything else to deal with. I don't know why I can't see. It seems like I can't see all the chats. It's crazy. Well, I think that's going to do it for today, guys. That was a 2-hour, 45-minute live stream. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out and coming along. Hopefully you learned some stuff or got to, you know, see some stuff that you already knew. And I'm happy to share it with you guys. It's kind of fun for me because I have so much work to do. And I get to share that work with you guys while it's just my day-to-day process. What you see is what you get, literally. And every one of these goes back to a customer. And at this point, we have 200 5-star reviews. I'm not asking for reviews. We get them spontaneously. So I don't push that too hard. I think we're pretty well established, and we're enjoying the benefits of being you know, experienced at our job. So that's, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's been a long morning, guys. Anyways, I appreciate everyone coming. I'm going to sign off here, and I'll be on next Tuesday. If you guys need any products or supplies, please go to currycustomcutlery.com. We got everything in stock pretty much. And then we also have the newsletter. So if you're interested in signing up and getting on the inside when things are coming out, new product releases, discounts, all that, just sign up for the newsletter. I share tips, tricks, and product information and all the stuff about events coming up. It's all going to be in the newsletter. So get on there, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right? Aloha. Thanks again, everybody.